Hello all and welcome to today's webinar, Disruption Ahead for the Construction Industry. My name is Jackie Thrasopoulos and I head up marketing at B4 Consulting. And I should note that today's webinar is a second in a series of webinars from B4 Consulting in which we look at the technology transformations taking place in the construction industry. Today we're going to look at how to digitize invoice processing and the benefits that this delivers. First, we'll take a look at today's agenda. I'll introduce you to our speakers. We'll get some quick facts about the companies represented on today's webinar, and then talk about this concept of how construction is ripe for disruption. We'll look at the ELO Digital Office solution that enables automated invoice processing, and then have a short demo of the solution as it's used at Zachry Construction, and conclude with a question and answer session. So with that, I'm delighted to introduce you to today's speakers. Kevin Walters is Vice President and CIO of Zachry Construction Corporation. Philip Schell is Vice President of Industry Solutions at B4 Consulting. And Daniel Schottenhamel is an ELO Solution Architect at B4 Consulting. And Daniel will be conducting today's demo. A little bit about ELO Digital Office. The company has been pioneering digital content innovations for well over 20 years. Regardless of the company's size or industry, ELO offers a broad suite of solutions that are designed to enable digital content management and enterprise content management. Quick to implement, easy to use, all ELO solutions help to future-proof business operations in a digital economy. And today, we're going to look at how ELO automates invoice processing at Zachry. So with that, I'd like to hand the webinar over to Kevin Walters from Zachry. Kevin?
Hi, thanks, Jackie. This is Kevin Walters. I'm the CIO at Zachry Construction. We're a privately held construction company in San Antonio, Texas. We were founded in 1924 in Laredo, Texas by H.B. Zachry. We're third generation now at this point with David Zachry as our CEO. We have offices throughout the North America, and we specialize in heavy construction, commercial building, primarily focused on design build, general contracting, and construction management. And I'm looking forward to discussing the importance of information technology in today's construction industry with you, and especially the impact that digitizing traditional paper processes have had at Zachry, and working with our partnership with B4, how we've been able to realize that improved efficiency, accuracy, and standardization across our organization. Next, Philip will introduce you to B4.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Thank you, Kevin, and thanks everyone for joining this morning. I'll tell you a little bit about our firm, B4 Consulting. As you can see, we're over 20 years old. We were founded by business management consultants. We still carry that tradition on today, where our consultants have a deep construction industry knowledge and business experience in construction. Our headquarters are in Boston, and we have offices in Canada, U.S. On the bottom right-hand side of the slide, you'll see kind of a list of our business point of views. You can see our construction focus, our real estate, especially in owner-operators. We also have a focus on professional services with engineering firms, architectural firms, field services where we are maintaining and providing services to the assets that are being constructed by the construction industry, and also equipment management, both within the construction business processes, but also as dealers and OEM dealers providing solutions for their field asset management. We also have a line of business play which represents a lot of the owners and the business processes of construction that they have to manage as an owner. On the left-hand side, you see some representative names of our clients. Amico and Brandt are examples of construction equipment companies. Dominion is one of the owners we have represented here today. You also have an owner-operator with Minto. Fluor and Kiewit and Zachry are examples of some of those self-perform construction companies. LP Simonelli and Turner are examples of the general contractors. And Transfield and Oryx are examples of construction services companies that are our clients and that we help them with innovation platforms as well. Next slide, Jackie. Today I'd like to kick off our session by introducing you to two companies' views of what's going on in the construction industry. One is the McKinsey & Company. They issued a paper this summer entitled "The Construction Industry is Ripe for Disruption," and they gave some challenges of how technology should be deployed. And the other is a Stanford University study of how information flows through 25 industries in the U.S., with construction being one of them. So let's take a look at that one, Jack. This is an example of how information flows according to the Stanford study. And in all the different ones that you see, financial services, manufacturing, the higher concentration of red is indicating a very efficient flow of information both in and out into the organization. And if you look at the construction industry and then look at it enlarged, both in comparison to the other industries and then enlarged, you'll see our traditional silos that we've been trapped in for years. And in many cases, the information that flows through those silos is not very efficient in the way it gets processed or shared. And in most cases, these are business processes where paper is involved. And today our session is going to be around digitalizing that paper and those paper processes. Next slide, Jackie, and this is the McKinsey report, and the 5 challenges or the 5 trends that they see in construction. And they made some observation on the next slide that you'll see about the state of the construction industry. And that is that despite a lot of technology being deployed, the projects are still not on time nor on budget. Productivity is low and not improving, and the industry is trapped in a perfectly competitive state where firms provide nearly identical services, compete only on price, and owners feel that they can freely substitute. They also observe that the industry is still underinvested in technology, especially IT technology, and that they are lagging behind embracing the digital world. One of the things that they say, however, is that there is a lot of innovation going on in the construction industry, but the innovation has not achieved a tipping point of moving to what is called disruption. Innovations can be singular in small areas, but they're not integrated enough to really have an impact. And they say that the construction industry is right on the verge of someone within the industry putting everything together on all of their innovation platforms to actually achieve disruption, which, according to Clayton Christensen, one of the disruption gurus, says that a disruption displaces an existing market, industry, technology, and produces something new and more efficient and worthwhile. It's both destructive and creative. And the examples I think all of us have experienced are Uber, Airbnb, Kickstarter, and Aereo. Next slide, Jackie. So today we want to focus really on this third challenge that the McKinsey report puts forth. And that if you look in that wheel, you'll see the digital collaboration and mobility. And it actually has a further definition of moving to paperless projects from the office to the workforce. And we believe that ELO is the innovation platform that allows people to comply with this challenge of that the McKinsey report is saying, and to be on the way of achieving that disruption and becoming differentiating their experience with the owner. And today I'm going to hand this back to Kevin, and Kevin's going to show you how they at Zachry have used ELO to actually achieve this. Kevin?
Thanks, Philip. So our initiative with ELO really began as a part of an overall ERP initiative at ZCC. B4 has been our ERP implementation specialist and support partner. We were focused on three main guiding principles for our ERP initiative: improving our data collection processes, making the job site personnel's job easier and more efficient, and also the ability to increase turnaround time on job cost reporting without negatively impacting payroll processing or adding extra burden to the folks who are actually having to gather the data. So what we really wanted from the beginning was a replacement for what would be considered probably your standard job site document control, document management solution, and we wanted something that would provide hooks into our ERP solution with the access to those documents and typical things that help out in procurement or with change order management, things like RFIs, submittals, transmittals. With B4's help, we were able to select ELO as our enterprise content management solution, our document management solution. The ability then, once we started to understand what ELO could do, really opened us up to address a lot of different historic challenges that I think everybody in the construction industry faces, such as the lack of standardization in processes, just handling tons and tons of paper, slow, difficult business processes based in paper. And I think when you see Daniel's demonstration in a little bit, he'll show you just how we were able to do that in one particular instance. Next, I'm going to kind of talk on this slide a little bit about what we were able to do from the business process standpoint as we started to understand what the power of ELO could bring to our business processes across the enterprise. First, we look at the capture piece. You know, you think about that as your traditional scan it and get it in the system kind of solution, but the ability to do that is increased by ELO's tool set that they give us for being able to also OCR almost all the data that's on anything scanned, as well as form recognition to find the key fields inside of a document. All of that makes the information that we're scanning not just a picture of the document, but also usable information that we can search on, and helps really in the next step of the business process improvement, which is increasing our ability to manage the processes. So using ELO and the power of the data that we're capturing, the information that we're gathering, we're able to now gain control and insight into transactions that we can now track. We can keep a good audit trail on where things are at along the way in the process, using things like workflow, the capabilities to version documents, and also the ability to see who's got a document and who's actually accessed the document. This has led to a great benefit in us being able to standardize processes by being able to use the management and the standardization of the workflows to train and introduce this to the field personnel. In the past, we really relied on the on-site project team to really define and train folks at the project. So standardization was a little bit more difficult before we had a tool that could help us really gather everything in one centralized location and provide one centralized and standard way of doing things. But it's also helped us extend the services of our headquarters and home office support staff to the job sites. So we see a lot more internal collaboration opportunities, which has helped a lot in a lot of different ways, like no more having to send everything as an attachment in email and just having a glut of data that's stuck in the email system. Email's is no longer our filing system for most people like it was in the past. We're able to move that to ELO and be able to really refer to one single document instead of having multiple copies of it floating around in the email solution. ELO's become, in the storage of information, our single source of truth. It's where all of our content is headed. It's where we will be able to centralize and help to eliminate having multiple copies throughout the organization. And then delivery is now something that helps us in this process of getting information out to the job site, getting information in from the job site, enterprise-wide. We have vision into it. We can version control and see when things change. We have audit trail, and it just improves things immensely as we interact with each other from the jobs to the home office. And then also, I would say from job site to job site, as personnel move around and they have access to actually seeing information that maybe they didn't have before, especially when it was a paper-based system. And then finally, since everything is in the single ELO repository, it becomes that place where the records of the jobs are stored permanently. It's the one place you go to access things. And probably the biggest benefit is we can easily go to the single source, grab the information at turnover, and provide a much better product to the owners as we kind of close out a project and get to that stage of it. So in the next slide, just to kind of touch on the things that Philip really was going into there in detail, ELO offers us a great set of tools to help address all the digital needs of the job site as well as the enterprise. This, like I said, replaced our document control solution or multiple document control solutions with a single tool. We do all of our RFIs, we do all transmittals, we track change order management basically through ELO, and it has that built into it, and it works really good for us. But on top of that, we've also been able to really, in that upper right area there, increase our accuracy, pulling in information, processing it correctly, and getting that information into the system so that it's usable in a much better way than we were ever able to do as a paper document process. We also have multiple delivery platforms that we can use with ELO, whether it's using the ELO full client for power users that exists on the desktop, or using the ELO web client that's accessible through any web browser, or also using the ELO mobile client as well. And that is something from a delivery standpoint that helps the collaboration and also helps share the knowledge, because it's easier for folks to use, and it's easier for people to get access to the information. It's improved our ability for compliance down in the bottom right-hand corner with the audit trail and the capabilities that are built into it to see who's accessed something and who has access to information, who's actually looked at it. So in the next section, I'm going to describe a little bit to you about our ERP solution and where ELO fits into that world, and why it's such an integral part of the solution at Zachry Construction. So like I said, B4 helped us put together an implementation of SAP for our instance of ERP, and we have SAP CRM as our customer relationship management tool for leads and proposals. We were a hard dollar customer for estimating and build management. B4 helped us write a mobility app for better, more accurate capture of information at the field level. That was also a paper process that we've eliminated. And all of that information now is being moved to the single repository for enterprise content management using ELO as that repository. And on top of it, we use business objects for delivery of report and decision-making information for our projects. And it's interesting. ELO has become a place for us to really go out and put these business records, whether it's our daily logs or maybe it's a project monthly report, that really become the record of the job. Put them in ELO, and instead of having to mail them out through email as an attachment, we use ELO links, or people know where to go to find it inside of ELO as this information is being produced and published into ELO. Plus, it also gives us insight into who's seeing the data and making sure the right folks are reviewing information that they should be reviewing, and that the right people who need to see it are actually able to see it. And that's all centered around that enterprise content management that ELO provides across our ERP. So in the next slide, it'll give you an idea from our project lifecycle just how critical ELO is along the way for us. So from the beginning of the identification of a lead, we'll build out in CRM that lead, and it'll interface to ELO to create a standard project structure or lead structure inside of the tool. All the interaction will be tracked for documents in and out, and working to pull information in, storing it in ELO as our central place for everybody to go to find that information to support the lead. And as we go into the next phase of the project lifecycle of actively bidding the project or estimating it, we'll see hard dollar is a component now that's introduced along with continuing to use the information in CRM. Another expansion of that original folder structure that was in ELO at the lead now has got information that's specific to the opportunity, but also all of the information for the lead comes along with it, and we've got another standard set of folders that everybody would use in the proposal and estimating phase. As we get into the award and construction phase of projects, SAP, hard dollar working hand in hand to manage the projects. Bob J from Business Objects, SAP, and Mobility working to get data in, get data out to folks. All of it centralized and working with ELO to be the central repository. And then at the closeout phase, being able to use ELO and all of the information that's come along throughout the project's lifecycle and have it in one spot where everybody knows that's where we go to get it, whether that's to support the project from a case history, for estimating history, or in case of a legal discovery. All of it's in the single repository in ELO, and it's very beneficial to us, like I said earlier, in being able to provide better data to owners at turnover. So in this next section, in the next slide, Daniel's going to take you and show you a demonstration of a specific process that we digitized at Zachry, and show you how it works inside of our organization. So Daniel, you want to take it from here?
Thank you, Kevin. Hello, everyone. Before we jump into the demo, I would like to give you a brief overview of the process that we're going to be demonstrating today. So what you see here is you have the process starting off in ELO. So you have your goods receipts, which have already been posted, and I've already posted these prior to this for demonstrating purposes. And then the AP clerk or field admin receives the invoice at the construction site in hard copy. They can either scan it with a scanner directly into the ELO, which I will be showing, or they can take a picture of it via the mobile client, which was mentioned by Kevin earlier. Then we send this through the invoice approval process in ELO, and then we finally do the final posting in the ERP solution, which will then be released for payment. And we do a final index upload to synchronize between ELO and the ERP once the document has been posted and paid in the ERP solution. So now that I've given a brief overview, I would like to jump straight into the demo. You should all see my screen right now where we see the ELO Java client. This is the main way of using ELO. And then you should see myself logged into ELO Dev as Schottenham LD. So as I mentioned, I'm walking through the invoice with goods receipt process. The goods receipts have already been processed through, and I'm doing the invoice approval process at this stage. I, as a field admin, I'm on the site. I received this invoice that you see on the screen here via hard copy. I've decided to scan this in, so I have it attached to my computer. I scan it, and it ends up in the in tray. Now the next step for me as the field admin is I need to send this invoice over to our OCR module, which is Doc Extractor, to read out all the permanent information. So I click on the invoice, transfer invoice button. Once I have clicked on this, now we jump onto the Doc Extractor, which is our OCR module. I click on my image, and then here we see the image itself. So on the left, you see the image, and on the right, you see some of the field mappings. And as we see, if their fields are green, that means our OCR tool was able to read this out and process it. So if I click here, we see the invoice number, and we see a box on the field on the image to the left. That means it was able to verify where this is being happening. So I, as a field admin, I just simply need to hit enter, enter. Now the invoice has been sent over back to ELO. Once we're back in ELO, now this is where Zachry decided they wanted to have their ERP be the system of records. So that means they are able to they were able to tie the goods receipts in the ERP solution. I simply click on Show in SAP, which is their ERP solution. And now, before I jump into tying the goods receipts to the invoice process, I would like to show the image as well. So we are in the ERP, and if there's a user that does not have access to ELO, they are still able to view the image within the ERP solution without having to jump directly to ELO. And this image is only being stored in ELO. We're only having a view of it in the ERP solution. And ELO can be integrated with any ERP solution. Zachry happens to be using SAP. And the process being shown today is fully automated. For demonstration purposes, we're showing the manual steps as well. So now I need to tie that goods receipt to this invoice. I simply do so in the ERP solution here. I assign it the last goods receipt. And now when I click on Save as Completed, what this will do is this will trigger the workflow process in ELO, so the approval process. I, as the field admin, I'm currently assigning the goods receipt to the invoice. Once I click on Save as Complete, this window will close, and now I will switch over to a different user to demonstrate the workflow. So now I'm back and I'm in as administrator. So if I show the workflow, what you see here is there's an initial stage of approval of the workflow by the manager. And then once the info has been approved by the manager, we simply notify the field admin to do the final posting in the ERP solution. We can automate, and depending on business requirements, we can automatically post in the ERP. At Zachry, they wanted to have it be the ERP be the financial system of records. So, and what you see here, which I want to point out, is you see a specific nomenclature. So Project Manager 15013 needs to review this. What we see now is one template, one workflow template, and these fields here are being dynamically assigned per project or per department. And we are not even using these data is not being replicated in ELO. All of these roles are coming from the SAP, or excuse me, from the ERP system. So we do not need to create these roles in ELO. These are simply being pushed to us from our ERP solution. So now, I, as the manager, need to approve this invoice. And we see the approval form here on the right. I click on Accept, and now I would like to show the approval workflow just one more time to demonstrate. Before there was the manager group was assigned. Now it's administrator. So this gives a complete overview of where we are in the process for other users. I click Approve, and now I need to switch back to my other user because I want to demonstrate that the different roles for this task. I now get another task, and I'm back here as Shot&LD. So that means I am the field admin in this process. So if I click on Show the Workflow, we'll see now I'm back down here as the field admin. And now I know that this workflow has been approved, so I accept it, but I need to do the final posting in the ERP solution. Now that I'm back in ERP solution, I simply click on Edit, Display, and now I click on Post. Now that the invoice has been posted, this task will go away in a couple of seconds. But in the meantime, what I would like to show is going back to what Kevin had described earlier. We see that there's a folder structure being built out here. So this is a project that originated in CRM, and we can tell this by having the lead cycle here. So the lead folder, it generates a predefined template, and at Zachry we had it based upon the project template being chosen in the CRM. Then it got past the lead stage, now we're in the opportunity. Now that we're in the opportunity, we build out a predefined folder structure, again, based on the project template. Now that we've been awarded the project, now we go to the ERP system, and we create this project there. Now that that's been created in the ERP system, we populate per defined rule set of the project template, a project template execution structure. Within that, we see our invoices that have been already processed, and one of those is the ones that I have done today. And from a demonstration purpose, that is what I wanted to show to you today, a quick little invoice with goods received processed, and just a little bit of an overview of the ELO product itself. I want to thank you for your attention, and I'd like to hand it back over to Jackie now.
Thanks, Daniel. So that concludes the demo portion of today's webinar. I hope we've been able to give you some insights into how ELO Digital Office enables Zachry to automatically capture, manage, store, deliver, and preserve invoices, and how it's helping to standardize and increase accuracy of document management, all of which is contributing to accelerating the cash-to-cash cycle at Zachry. So with that, I'd like to open the session up to a short Q&A. And we've actually gotten a couple of questions in on the chat session, and yeah, they're directed to Kevin. Kevin, if you could talk about how difficult is it to use the system? I guess I guess people just want to understand what the implementation process is like and user adoption, how easy that is.
Yeah, sure. So probably I would say the thing that we recognized early on is that you really need to, as you start to change from paper process to a digital process, and understand how to train and organize change management inside of the organization. And for us, it meant going to the job sites and working directly with the folks. Because of the 3 different methods that people can use, it gives us an opportunity to really kind of hone the right tool for the right user, whether it's the mobile access or the web client or the full Java client that Daniel was showing. And I think really the adoption's been really good. And once folks understood it, went through the class, and started to see the benefits of what the system could do for them, and not just for all the tracking and everything that's available, just making their jobs easier and making things flow quicker at the job site around these different processes that we've worked on so far has been a great thing. So overall, I wouldn't be worried about putting it out in any kind of a solution, because I think people will really adopt it in very, very enthusiastically based on the improvements that they see in their job.
Great. Another question. You kind of touched on this earlier, but someone asked about how do you share information with partners, with suppliers? Yeah, if you could talk about that a bit.
Sure. So for us, we know that it's important for Zachry to be a good external collaborator, whether it's working with engineering firms and design build owners, partners and joint ventures, or our ability to leverage our tools with our subs. So we've concentrated on a couple different things. One is to leverage Citrix, which was a recommendation from ELO to deliver that full, robust desktop where it's required. And we also use an F5 device is what we're currently implementing right now to bring a Citrix desktop to our external collaborators, so non-Zachry networked folks, maybe Zachry folks, but they might not be on the Zachry network. And then that same methodology, really just URL, secure URL management through F5 to allow us to do an application using the application firewall technology of the F5 to deliver a safe external version of the web relay so that the web client is accessible. And we think, based on what we've seen so far in the lab, that the mobile solution will also be able to leverage the URL management through the F5 application firewall. So for us, it really is about doing it securely and leveraging the power of the tools that ELO has available to it.
Thank you. So we're running just a little over time, and I think that we'll conclude our webinar for today. I want to thank our speakers, Kevin and Philip and Daniel, and I encourage you to get in touch with any one of us if you want to learn more about how the ELO Digital Office solution can help you to migrate to a paperless, real-time data business operations. So thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you.